These two major, basically, empires, which was Lydia and Babylon, that's what basically being conquered became the Medo-Persian Empire here. Now in verses 3c, the second part of verse 3 to 6, God is going He's going to give 3 reasons why he is going to use Cyrus for the occasion. 3 reasons as far as to why he is going to use him. It bears an amount of complexity, so bear with me. To use Cyrus. The first reason is in 3b. So that you may know that it is I, Jehovah, the Elohim of Israel, who calls you by your name. That's your reason number 1. That Cyrus may come to know God, Jehovah. Cyrus, a pagan here, is given the opportunity to know God. It happens at the latter days of Daniel until the end of his days. Always under the first reason. Now Cyrus, he did recognize to some extent only that the God of Israel was helping him. He realized that far. That the Jehovah, which is the personal name of God, was helping him. He did recognize this to some extent only, but not to what we call the saving extent. What he did like many people. He took Jehovah and included Jehovah among many other gods. Polytheism. And you cannot be saved by this. He just added Jehovah among his gods. Because if you read his history, he gave credit to Jehovah for his conquest, and he also gave credit to Marduk, a Babylonian god. For salvation, you need to give credit only to one being, and it's the triune God.
Is Marduk a Persian?
Babylonian god. So he was given the opportunity to know the only God, but he did not take it. That's the totality of the first reason. The second reason is found in verse 4. For the sake of Jacob my servant and Israel my chosen one, I have also called you by your name, and I have given you a title of honor, though you have not known me. He did it for Israel's sake. Reason number 2. Ask me why? Simply because of covenantal relationship with Israel. They were promised that they were going to be delivered from the Babylonian captivity, was part of his covenant.
But also, Israel was prophetically told that in 70 years they'd go back.
Absolutely.
Daniel read it.
Absolutely.
And knew.
Yeah, by covenant is the part of the Abrahamic covenant and so on. So they will be basically restored, because if he does not restore them or let them to be destroyed or assimilated, where would be our Messiah? So it's by covenantal relationship. That's his wife. And Cyrus will bring the captivity to an end. That's the promise. And the third reason is found in verse 5. I am Jehovah, and 6. I am Jehovah, and there is no other. Beside me there is no God. Circle that sentence. Beside me there is no God. I will gird you, though you have not known me, that men may know from the rising to the setting of the sun. Circle that men may know from the rising to the setting of the sun, meaning east and west, that there is no one besides me. I am Jehovah, and there is no other. 5 and 6. A bit of writing here on the point 3. So that all nations may know Jehovah. What's the point of verse 5? Verses 5 and 6 is this: God's uniqueness. The one. God's being unique or uniqueness. That's the point of verse 5. I am Jehovah, there is no other. Beside me there is no Elohim. I will gird you, though you have not known me. However, by the time of Cyrus, it never happened that the whole nations know God. Never happened. Yet, he says, I'm going to use Cyrus. I'm going to use Cyrus for this ultimate accomplishment. For this ultimate accomplishment. What's the accomplishment? So that all people may know the Lord. All nations may come to know me. Now Cyrus has long been dead, so that all the nations may know God is still future in the time of Cyrus, since he's dead. So the questions become, how can Cyrus be used for this? And you know the answer already. Remember the Magi. Where is he? The one who is born, the King of the Jews. It's going to resemble this right now. So how can Cyrus be used to bring about that all nations will know God? First of all, God is going to use Cyrus to bring the Jews back to Jerusalem. Make it dot or bullet. To bring the Jews back. To go back from Babylon to Jerusalem. So, having caused the Jews to go back to Jerusalem, that paves the way for Joseph and Mary to give birth of the Messiah in Bethlehem. Because the Jews are back to their land, so things are starting to take place. So, Mary, Joseph, a baby born in Bethlehem. The baby being born in Bethlehem includes the first coming. Was not accepted, goes up, and he will come at the second coming. And when he comes at the second coming, all nations will know the Lord.
You went too fast for me. I've got born in Bethlehem includes first coming.
And then he goes up, being rejected. Then what happened, Germaine? He's coming back? He established the Messianic kingdom, and all the nations of the earth will serve him and know the Lord. That's how Cyrus was used to bring this accomplishment about. This is in that sense that Cyrus can be used to reach the ultimate goal, that all the nations will know him. Ask me if all the nations know him right now. It's a capital N, no. No. They know about, but they don't know him. This will come to pass only at the second coming of Christ, after the judgment of the Gentiles, and in the Messianic kingdom he will reign over the earth, and all the nations will know him. It's prophetic. He needed to rebuild the temple so that Christ would be born in Bethlehem, because the people need to be in their land, functioning with the Pharisees, functioning with the Sadducees. Christ needs to grow for 33 years, go in the temple, demolish the teaching of the Mishnah, end up to the cross, and then it unfolds. Church age inserted. You cannot talk to Isaiah about going to church, and we're not the new Jews here. He never saw past the Messianic kingdom. Church inserted. We are servant of God. We pray for the second coming of Christ, and then bang, the verse here, that men may know from the rising of the setting of the sun, there is no one beside me. I am Jehovah, and there is no other. This is not fulfilled yet. The fact that is no other, but nobody from the east and west, north and south, not everybody know God. This is our purpose, to share the faith. But not everybody will come to faith. It's a minority, the chosen, the elect. Germaine, you're thinking, are you okay?
Yes, because you said a minority would be coming to
Yes,
Christ.
yes.
But God says he doesn't want any to be lost.
This is his.
They have their own choice, but I think in majority of people coming to Christ rather than a minority.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Beautiful majority.
So numbers aren't.
No, we're talking about minority and majority. We need to insert numbers here. He has the desire that everybody would be saved. It's part of his desirative will, but it's not part of his decretive will. He has the desire to all to come to know him, but he will not bring it to pass. He will not bring it to pass. It's part of his desiderative. He has the desire to do so, but he will not bring it to pass. Otherwise, everybody would be saved.
And the Holocaust would not happen.
That's it. So, how many people, as a group here, don't answer me because you won't be able to answer me. How many people, all of you, I have no new believers here. All of you have at least 20 years of Christianity. Don't be insulted. How many people in the last 20 years have you led to Christ? Don't answer me. Don't answer, please. It's the work of the church. We need to present the gospel. But we do not present the gospel. First of all, the church doesn't know what the gospel is all about. They know their constitution, but they don't know 1 Corinthians 15. Some do. But it must be for the people, because in the first book you have 1 Corinthians 11. We don't do it, so we don't do 1 Corinthians 15 either. Why would we? We are not workers. I said we. We're not disciples. We are not followers of Christ at all. We're lazy. We're complacent. You didn't want to hear that tonight, eh? I use we. A follower of Christ? Really? The message this coming Sunday will be the recall of Peter. Will be the recall of Peter. Peter was a fisherman in the Sea of Galilee. I don't think you imagine that kind of business, how lucrative it was. We provide sardines for many people. Family were buying boats and get some employees. It was like being real estate right now. He left all and followed him. I follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. Don't sing. Remain on your seat. Wait for another song. Hard to hear. How many people I have seen in the last 2 years? You're doing, I say, I might show up. I might show up. I'm interested. 52 weeks of lecture? No, thank you. They like the microwave. Microwave, it's hot everywhere except where it's supposed to be. And the Christianity today is disciple. There is lots of Christian, millions of Christian. But not according to the amount of people. Cults are way more attractive than Christianity today. Cults are way more attractive, way more welcoming. They don't have a Canada Post faced and wearing masks. Forgive me. Where's my man? Hello, Alan. I like men. I don't think I'm gay. And I'm on YouTube right now. But I like men a lot. I like them young. 20, 25, 35, because they are the future church leaders. No, sorry. Denominational leaders. Proselytes. Germain, where are they? It's Isaiah.
God knows.
Of course God knows, and I know too. They're not here. That much I know.
When you said something about denominational, I thought if from Ephesians, God gave Jesus as head over everything to the church, not to the denomination.
Thank you so much. Now we agree. Now we're on the same page with this. It's in that sense. Now let me finish with this 10 minutes here. Verse 7 is very interesting. You circle the totality. The one forming light and creating darkness. It goes, I am Jehovah and there is no other. I am the one forming light and creating darkness, causing well-being and creating calamity. It's been misused sometimes because some people use that verse to say that God is the creator of evil here. This is very interesting here, what happened. Make your notes about it. I will finish with this here. God here is speaking against the very religion of Medo-Persia. God is speaking here against the very religion of the Medo-Persian Empire. What do you think that the religion was at that time? Do you have an idea? Don't be afraid to make a mistake.
Sun worship.
Were they worshiping the sun?
No, I'm going to tell you. Would you name a religion that you think it might have been in Medo-Persia at that time? Might come to pass. Don't be shy. You might say Islam, or what did we call it? Islam, or the Muslim religion. I'm talking about something that you know that was before Islam came on the scene in the year 1000 AD of our time. And it is called here Zoroastrianism. Do you remember Zoro, Sylvie? Good. Zoroastrianism. That's how we write that down. I don't have it there. It's something. Zoroastrianism altogether. So Zoroastrianism. You can slash it in 3 parts. Zoroastrianism. here. That's exactly what God speaks to Cyrus about the religion prevalent in the Medo-Persian Empire here. It was a religion of what we call dualism. It was a religion of dualism. It was a religion of dualism that goes like this. You can look at the picture here. It was the Medo-Persian at that time. It means dualism. It was two independent forces. The God of light, the God of the good and peace, then the God of darkness and calamity. This is a Medo-Persian Empire picture of Remain. It's been redone. And the name of the good God is Ahura Mazda. So if you buy a Mazda, it's named after that God. Ahura Mazda. And the bad one is Ahriman. Needless to tell you, demonic face. He was the god of evil, the god of darkness here. And that's what we call a religion of dualism, with neither God being totally in charge. This one is not totally in charge of good, and this one is not totally in charge of evil. It's a religion of two forces not being in full control of either or. And when you read verse 7 of the account, God is against dualism because He is the God of both. Fully in charge of this and fully in charge of this. And dualism was a very known religion, even to this day, in the time of the antiquity. Even today, some people that allegorize Revelation and they say, oh, it's the battle between the good and evil and the good winning at the end comes from that crapology. It's the power of the occult.
Yeah, did the second gentleman have a car named after him?
Yeah, these are all symbolic stuff, and it resembles what people have today as tattoos sometimes. Those who belong to satanic cult. I don't want to get into that. I hate it. Yeah. So here, God is not morally here it is not the morally good or the morally evil that is behind the attributes of God. But things good and bad lie in the total power of God as far as the physical aspects and consequences are concerned. Think Job. He allowed Satan to do it. If he said to Satan, you're afflicting as much as you want, but you don't touch his life. Who's in charge? Thank you. Who's responsible for evil? Not God. The creation is. Satan and Adam and Eve, that were in the realm of mankind, okay? In the realm of the angels, of course, it's Satan. But at the fall, it's Adam and Eve, and the sin inherited from them. The creation, remember what we did in church, dear beloved, they were both created fully mature in unconfirmed creaturely holiness. They were both holy, but they failed the test. So they became confirmed in their fallen state. That's what we are. Okay? Cross-reference this with Amos chapter 3, verse 6. So here, I'm the one forming light and creating darkness, causing well-being and calamity. It's a direct statement to Cyrus, I'm not embracing your religion. I'm not in the dualism business. It does include Cyrus and any other cults under the same realm. There is only one sovereign God, and his name is Yahweh or Jehovah, and also in the person of Jesus Christ, the second person of the triune God, and the Holy Ghost. That's why I am Jehovah and there is no other. And then he carries on. So never use this verse to say that he is the creator of evil. Because he is the God of both. He knows what's going on in hell proper, in the center of the earth, as if he sees the sun and everything. There is nothing that God does not know. He is omniscient. It means all-knowing. All-knowing. And it's not for nothing that I don't like it, and he doesn't want us to go to that place. So that's why when I teach Satanology, demonology, I need an overprotection of prayer with this. And some people, they like to play with the occult. Seeing the dead and so on. Never play with these things. There is a great cost to it. He hates it. We are sons and daughters of the light, and we wash our soul by means of the Word of God, not my tangents, not my frustrations sometimes. But beloved, we need to acknowledge, to see, we witness here in these places what's going on around these wealthy countries as we are. There is people in the persecuted church that you pray, you have your book about it, they would come. A study like this in India, lecturing for an hour 15, I would get stoned to death. Because in India, they would get 18 people on the Civic. People strapped on the top, driving for 4 to 5 hours, if not more, to go to the street of India, because we have a lecture on Isaiah. If you don't stay there 2 days on the podium, collapsing with the sweat here, they're not going to be happy. They will never come to a Bible study for an hour 15. And here, after half an hour, 40 minutes, we watch the clock to see if I'm not going towards the end of the program. Plain shame belongs to us. Is he doing the life of Christ from a Jewish perspective for 3 years? Find it a bit long. Shame of that type of thinking. With TSMS, you're not going to get a microwave theology. The day that I will do it, stop supporting us, kick me out of here. And you forgive now if there is a need, because what I'm telling you is the plain truth, so it doesn't need to be forgiven. Only the way sometimes I come across needs to be. Don't ask me if I am happy where the church age is at right now. I am ashamed of it. Plainly. But I cannot undo my salvation. So keep up the good work. And you also do the same thing. May God bless you.